The miracle of the she-camel of Prophet Salih, Asex. The sun beat down mercilessly upon the valley of Al-Hijr, where the mighty people of Thamud had carved their kingdom into the very bones of the mountains. Their towering palaces and temples stood as testaments to their skill and arrogance, hewn from rose-red stone that glowed like embers in the desert light. The Thamud were a people drunk on their own power, worshipping idols they had shaped with their own hands, believing themselves masters of all they surveyed. Among these people walked Salih, a man unlike the others. From his youth, he had been different, quiet where others were loud, thoughtful where others acted without thinking. While the nobles of Thamud draped themselves in silks and gold, Salih wore simple wool. While the priests chanted empty prayers to stone gods, Salih whispered his devotions to the one true God. One night, as Salih slept beneath the vast desert sky, a light pierced his dreams. A voice both thunderous and gentle spoke, "O Salih, rise and warn your people. They have strayed far from the path, and destruction awaits them if they do not turn back." Salih awoke with a start, his heart pounding. He knew what he must do. The next morning, he stood before the great assembly of Thamud, where the chieftains and elders gathered in their jeweled robes. The air was thick with the scent of incense and arrogance. "O my people," Salih called, his voice steady despite the murmurs of the crowd, "worship Allah alone. These idols you carve, they do not hear, they do not see. They are but stone, and stone cannot save you." Silence fell across the assembly, then laughter erupted like a sudden storm. "Salih," sneered Qudar, the wealthiest of the merchants, his gold rings glinting in the morning sun. "Have the sands dried your mind? Our gods have given us everything. Look around you. Our cities, our wealth. Who is this Allah you speak of?" Salih did not flinch. "He is the one who created you, who gives you life and will take it back. He sends the rain, he moves the winds. Turn to him before it is too late." But the people only mocked him louder. Saduk, a noblewoman known for her sharp tongue and sharper wit, stepped forward. "We have prospered for generations without your Allah. Why should we listen to you now?" Days turned into weeks, and Salih's warnings grew more urgent. Some among the poor and oppressed began to listen, their hearts stirring with hope. But the leaders of Thamud grew furious at his persistence. "Enough of this," roared Hathal, the high priest of the temple, his ceremonial robes swirling as he pointed an accusing finger at Salih. "If you are truly a prophet as you claim, show us a sign. Bring us a miracle that we can see with our own eyes, or be silent forever." The crowd erupted in agreement, their voices rising like a wave. Salih sighed deeply, his shoulders heavy with the weight of their disbelief. "You ask for proof? Then I will ask Allah to grant it. But know this, if he answers your challenge, will you then believe?" "We will," they cried, though their eyes gleamed with challenge rather than faith. Salih raised his hands to the heavens, his voice trembling with emotion. "O Allah, if I am truly your messenger, show these people your power." Then he turned and pointed to the great mountain of Athlab, its sheer cliffs unyielding and ancient. "Bring forth from this rock a living she-camel, one unlike any other, a sign for all to see." The people gasped. "Impossible," someone cried from the crowd. But even as the word left their lips, the mountain began to shake. At first it was just a tremor, barely noticeable. Then the ground beneath their feet began to quiver like the skin of a drum. A great crack split the stone face of the mountain, widening like a wound in the earth itself. Dust billowed into the air, rocks tumbled down the slopes, and then a sound. A deep, resonant cry echoed from within the mountain, a sound none had ever heard before. It was neither human nor beast, but something in between, the voice of a miracle. And then she emerged. The she-camel of Allah stepped forth from the living rock, her coat shimmering like molten gold in the sunlight. She stood taller than any camel they had ever seen, her eyes deep pools of wisdom that seemed to look into the very souls of those who beheld her. When she breathed, the air itself seemed to tremble with her power. The people of Thamud staggered back in shock, some falling to their knees, others clutching at each other in fear. This cannot be," whispered Saduk, her usual confidence shattered. But there she stood, undeniable, impossible, miraculous. Salih turned to face the stunned crowd, his voice ringing clear across the silent valley. "This is your sign from Allah. She will drink from your water one day, and you will drink the next. Harm her, and a terrible punishment will befall you." For a moment, even the proudest among them hesitated. The miracle was too great to deny. But then Qudar, his face twisted with resentment, stepped forward. "A camel is just a camel," he sneered. "What power does it have over us?" And with those words, the fate of Thamud was sealed.